Good evening, I'm Henry Goodwin, and our sports sticker is brought to you by the 1890 Initiative. In Husker volleyball news, the NCAA released the draw for the upcoming tournament in Tampa. The Huskers are the 1 seed in their pool. The other 1 seed teams are Wisconsin, Stanford, and Pitt. There are 3 other Big Ten teams in the tournament. Penn State is the 5 seed, and they're in a pool with Wisconsin. Purdue is the 3 seed, and they're also in the same pool as Wisconsin. And Minnesota is not seeded, and they're in the same pool as Pitt. In Husker women's basketball news, Natalie Potts collected her second Big Ten honor in 3 weeks, as she was named the Big Ten Women's Basketball Freshman of the Week. The Associated Press released their men's basketball top 25 rankings, where Nebraska earned 4 votes to be in the top 25 rankings. Purdue was named the number 1 team, and the only other Big Ten teams in the ranking are Illinois at 24. Only 3 Big Ten games going on tonight. Western Illinois is at Wisconsin, St. Peter's is at Rutgers, and Northern Illinois is at Northwestern. Finally, the Bears head to Minneapolis to take on the Vikings in a Monday Night Football showdown. That game kicks off at 7:15. Our sports sticker is sponsored by the 1890 Initiative. Do you want to support Husker student athletes through name, image, and likeness? If so, visit 1890nebraska.com. Now get ready for 2 hours of Sports Nightly right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Now Minnesota outside roll shot. Walker block back and it drops. Another block by the Big Red. Berg and Riley back at Alec Nebraska piling those babies.
Fury and White stopping at the foul line after Jazz Shelley unguarded 3. You betcha! Jazz Shelley with a Central Valley Egg 3 to start the third.
Against Lawrence on the other end, lays it up. Shot blocked by Williams. Into the hands of Lawrence. The baseball pass and the jam. The jamola by Gary on the other end.
What a block by Bryce Williams to get that one started. Juwan Gary cherry picking after the badly missed 3.
Served by Laney. Bad pass, and that's an ace. They did it. Conference champions. All by themselves. And the players dogpile. Oh, look at that emotion released. That's a happy bunch of Huskers and so deserving.
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
Here we are back for another week of Sports Nightly. Hope you had a fun and uneventful holiday weekend. Hope everybody traveled safely. I know parts of our state got kind of buried with some snow. So I hope you're digging yourself out of that. The first big storm of the winter just barely dusted through Lincoln, but I know out there in the western parts of the state, you got 4 or 8 inches in different spots. So
I had never heard the wise tale that you sent us about the first day that it snows means how many days of snows you're going to get.
yeah, how about that?
So 25?
Well, we can take 1 off, then we're down to 24.
Wow.
24 more days of snow, which actually that isn't all that outrageous, really, right? 24 more days of getting snow during the winter.
This one was pretty, and it wasn't too bad.
I like these type. We
Yeah.
got in Lincoln. It looked pretty, and then next day by noon, the streets were good and
Yeah.
melted away.
I still am blown away at how good a job they do here. I mean,
Getting
again,
ready.
coming from Oklahoma where you're not, they're not as prepared, and it's how much you can get right out on the road even when it snows the same day.
Yeah.
That's new to me.
I know that some people it took them a long time to get back home if you lived out in the western part of the state after the game on Friday because you drove back into it on Friday. Friday was cold. It was a cold day, and then I think everybody felt a lot colder leaving the stadium after the way that thing ended.
Yeah, it just was shocking. I mean, you didn't know how to feel, didn't know what to say. I mean, you said on the broadcast, I'm speechless. I don't even know what to say because it was, you feel like things are going right, and again that it's going to end up on the right side of things, and then all of a sudden, just in 30 seconds, how quickly it changed and how it turned. But yeah, and the wind was kind of swirling a little bit too. That didn't make it. That wasn't ideal as far as the cold front goes. But yeah, it was definitely an eerie feeling for sure leaving the stadium.
Almost in shock.
Yeah.
Like, did that just happen again to this team? Because there were so many games, the last 4, you go back even to the Minnesota game, that you're just like, what? What just happened? How did that just you think about it. I think I texted you and even Jeremiah this on Saturday. Go, think about this. The Huskers intercept a pass with 31 seconds left in the game, and they lose.
Yeah.
You're like, what? That shouldn't happen.
Again, you felt like at that moment things were going to go in the right direction. It's mind blowing. It really is. I don't even know. I feel like we're running out of ways to describe it, but yeah, at that moment, you just felt so good about the outcome where it was headed. And it stings all that much more because you had a chance for 5 games down the stretch to win one of those. And how many of them were a player or two away from going the other direction. And we still have a football season right now today.
Right.
There's just a couple of plays here or there that it's a completely different outlook on things today.
Yeah, and it's just, and we've been through this, right? The last couple of years have kind of been this way. These games that just end in a bizarre fashion. I passed Chubba Purdy in the halls just a little bit ago. I know there were some shots of him. I think the Omaha World had a picture of him. He was just distraught after that game, and I'm sure he was. I mean, he would love to have that throwback that got picked off and run down to the Nebraska 38. As much as we are bothered as fans by it, I can't imagine how the players on the team feel after that happened to them again.
Well, I mean, I talked to a few of them, and it was devastation, and it's just so different because, again, a year ago, Nebraska left the field with a win, but you knew that the season was over no matter what. But you had a chance to extend the season, and that was kind of the saying, one more to play one more. And so, yeah, it was complete devastation, and it was devastation the week before, losing in overtime. And it just, I think they had such good, we're going to hear from Ty Robinson coming up, but they had such a good perspective on things and what was done throughout the season and laying a foundation and all of that. But still, it still hurts and stings that they had a chance to play for another game, to get to a bowl game, and it didn't come out how they wanted it to, how they expected it to. And so, yeah, it was, there were a lot of tears. I saw a lot of red eyes and guys that were really emotional. I mean, yes, the picture got captured of Chubba, but there were a lot of emotional players, a lot of really, really sad, upset players that thing didn't end differently and they didn't have more time together.
A couple of questions in the chat room. Crypto wants to know, is there any chance of making a bowl at the 5-7 record? They ended up being 3 teams short of the 82 to fill the slots. So only 79 teams got to 6 wins or better. But 2 teams who are making the transition from the FCS division, the old 1AA, to FBS, James Madison and Jacksonville State, they had over 6 wins. The rules were, if we don't have enough, you guys are the first 2 to get in. So that took 2 slots, left 1 slot open. And of all people, it's the Minnesota Golden Gophers, because what they go by is the APR, which is it's a grade point average, a graduation rate. Minnesota had the best rate of the teams that were not bowl eligible. So the Gophers are going to go to a bowl game. So the long story to answer your question, Crypto, no, Nebraska season is officially over. All the slots have now been filled for that. So takes care of that. Also, a couple questions in the chat room about clocks. There was a clock, I think it was a human error, with about 1:20 to go in the game, or they didn't run the clock during a play. It probably added 12 seconds to the game. At that point in time, when Nebraska got the interception by Tommy Hill, you're like, great, that mistake might help Nebraska. But then Nebraska threw the interception. So no way to go back and replay that at all. But at one point, you're like, that might help Nebraska. But then it ended up not helping Nebraska. So just frustration from everybody. I understand it. And we got a text that says, the Nebraska probably fortunate to have 5 wins with the turnover margin. The turnover margin ended up being a -17. One, I don't know that I've ever been a part of a team even close to that poor of a turnover margin. And yeah, that's probably right. That Nebraska was fortunate to have 5 wins by the turnover battle, but they did. That's the thing. And they had it, as Jessica said, they had 5 wins a month ago and could not get a win. And then just look back, you lose by 3 to Michigan State, 3 to Maryland, overtime loss in Madison, and then a 3-point loss to Iowa. And then you go back to Minnesota. That was a 3-point loss to start the season. So just the amount of those type of finishes piled up on this team. And now we're into that part of the season where we're going to see who's staying, who's going. There'll be movement on this roster. They announced, Jessica, 25 guys before the game. Only 11 of those are absolutely, completely done with eligibility. There's 14 players that have to make a decision.
Yeah, and I mean, I think we'll see how that unfolds, but I do think, with the COVID year, we saw it last year with Garrett Nelson, and which Garrett was on the sideline for the game the other day. It was great to see him, but, just for some of these guys, they've been in college for a long time, right? And yes, you're like, oh, well, you should play one more. I don't think it's necessarily so much about, hey, we're going to go to the NFL as it is, it's just been a long chapter with everything that these players that have those COVID eligibility years, for a lot of them, they've had a redshirt year. They might have had a medical redshirt year, but then they have the COVID year. There's just, it's a long time to be in college and to be playing college football. And so maybe it's not even about, oh, I'm going to go to the NFL, but maybe it's so much more that, hey, ready to move your life. Yeah, ready to move on from this chapter. It's just you can't fault them for that. And so yeah, there's still that decision to be made for some of these guys too. But there are some that still want to weigh that out. Maybe they do. It's a lifelong dream for some of these guys to have a chance to get to go do that. And even though maybe they might not have a high draft grade or they might not know, but hey, there's a lot of guys year in and year out. You certainly don't want to, rely on that totally, but there are a lot of guys year in and year out that aren't projected to do much that manage to make teams. And so, to be able to chase that dream and have that opportunity too, I think some guys maybe want that as well. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it all unfolds. And, getting some needs from the transfer portal is certainly something that's going to happen. It happens everywhere. And so the transfer portal, I think we'll start to see especially after this week, that thing will start to be probably flooded again after the championship season. And then, the signing day's coming up too. So there's a lot of things to watch out for over these next few weeks.
Bunch of moving parts. The coach was having one-on-one meetings with players yesterday and today. He's going to have a press conference on Wednesday. I'm sure he'll have some updated information about some destinations for some guys. I did see quite a bit of movement on Twitter and social media today with a lot of other programs, players that have entered the portal. Purdue's had 5 or 6 that have jumped into the portal. Nobody for Nebraska yet. That may be coming as the week kind of unfolds. Again, we'll monitor it all as we make our way through it. All right, phone lines, text lines, they're open for you. Love your reaction tonight, 402-413-2400. Let's start out in North Platte with Jim. Good evening, Jim. Welcome to the program.
Well, I'll thank you, too, for taking my phone call. And you know what? That I know injuries took a big part. Even injuries hurt a big part of our offense. But so did turnovers. Well, even my deal of it is, when Nebraska has such and such players that are gaining more, even most of the yards, all of the defenses are going to take those plays even away from your team. Our players and our coaches have to be able to counteract that, even to be able to score. And you've got to average more than 14 points. They were saying on the Big Red reaction the other night, well, Nebraska should be able to score at least 7 points every quarter. Hey, well, you both have a Merry Christmas, and I'll let you go.
All right, Jim, thanks. Yeah, I turnovers obviously is the number one concern I think that the staff has to try to address in the offseason, and it's on both sides of the ball. It's more on the offense, not turn it over, but the defense needs to be able to get more takeaways than they have. And yeah, the offense, and we had a text saying about Nebraska didn't have a 1,000-yard passer or a 500-yard rusher or even somebody who had over 320 yards receiving. The offense was just really, and again, that's the revolving door of the quarterback play. And a lot of it does point to that one position that Nebraska has got to get better play out of going into next year.
And not just the quarterback, but also the running back. I mean, you had 3 games where you had different running backs, and it took Emmett. I mean, I sat down with him a couple weeks ago for the Cornhusker conversation, and it just takes a little time to get a feel for things, but also there wasn't a lot of rhythm, I don't think, for a while with this offense. There certainly were a couple of times that you saw some flashes, but I just think with the guys that were in and out, the injuries, I mean, think how big Marcus Washington would have been. There just were some key injuries, some really, really tough injuries that ended up, I think they had to just kind of piece things together as they went to, which certainly doesn't help either. But you're talking about some of the 2 starting offensive linemen go down, there were so many injuries on the offensive side of the ball that just also added to all the other challenges that they had. I mean, they certainly, I know, had issues from the start with this offense, but even just sometimes it takes a while to get going for a team, for an offense especially, but they could never really get it going because they just each week had another blow that they had to deal with in terms of an injury or losing somebody. And like you mentioned, the different quarterbacks. So yeah, it just not ideal for sure. And, the defense certainly gave them chances to be in some games. And I even heard that every single week, even up until last week. The offense, we got to do our part. The defense is doing their part. We got to do our part. And so I think, it was just kind of a season-long fight of trying to figure out how to play complementary football. And it just didn't quite do enough of it to end up getting getting another win and getting it bowl eligible.
All right, here's what we have on the program tonight. We're going to replay Jessica's post-game interview with Ty Robinson. It was really thoughtful. He handled your questions really well. I think you could even hear the pain in his voice. We'll have that for you in a little bit. And then in hour 2, we're going to turn the page to some hoops. Fred Hoiberg is going to be here. Amy Williams is going to be here. Next week, we start our full 1-hour shows with both the pro men's and women's basketball programs, but we're going to hear from both head coaches in hour number 2 as well. Update on that men's basketball team, undefeated at 7-0. But hour 1's kind of your hour, folks. 402-413-2400. Some text rolling in. Also, let's get those phone lines lit up as well. 402-413-2400. Woodhouse Auto Family, your trusted auto partner with 20 brands, 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. More of the show coming up next.
Both Farmers and Division I athletes are alike in that every year, every season presents a new opportunity. That is nothing new. Aurora Cooperative does what they always do, embrace new opportunities. They focus on their roots and continue to stand strong with their farmer owners. These core beliefs are much like those of committed Husker athletes. Aurora Cooperatives relies on their value of a strong work ethic to get any job done for their producers. When you choose Aurora Cooperative, you're choosing a winning team that's dedicated to the success of our local farmers. Go Big Red and go Aurora Cooperative. Triple B Feed has the products to help your cows thrive. Whether it's weekly delivery of consumption-controlled Lumix liquid mineral with protein or Sweet Pro block supplements for space feeding, while also stretching your forages up to 25% better, Triple B has you covered. Let Brian and Brad Blauhorn take some of the stress out of your beef production this year. For more information and other products, visit triplebfeed.com. Triple B Feed, helping you and your cattle.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks. Foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
Farming today is a combination of hard work, innovation, and partnerships to help keep us moving forward. Sapp Brothers Petroleum has provided us with fuel, propane, and lubricants on the farm for many years.
For over 52 years, Sapp Brothers has been a reliable partner to thousands of farmers across our great state. We work hard to make sure our customers have the most reliable supply, provided in the safest manner and at the most competitive price. Trust Sapp Brothers Petroleum to protect your equipment and keep your farm fueled. Sapp Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Huskers Athletics and to serve Nebraska farmers and Husker fans across America's heartland.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska exists to be there with you. They are rooting for the schools and teachers who make our communities great. That's why Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska is proud to sponsor Touchdowns for Teachers and ask Husker fans to nominate outstanding educators who help Nebraska students reach their potential. If there's a teacher you want to recognize for the impact they've made in your community, find a nomination form at huskers.com/touchdowns for teachers.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Farmers, ensure your engines have the power and performance to get the job done. Central Valley Ag can help with Ruby Fieldmaster Diesel. With 4.5% more power and up to 5% better fuel economy, you can be sure your equipment is running on the best fuel. Register to win 500 gallons of Ruby Diesel when you contract 500 gallons or more. Enter to win at cvacoop.com. Our planet is hungry. Together, we feed it. There's room at the table. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks. Foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
Shop Woodhouse Hyundai during the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event happening now. Lease the 2023 Hyundai Ioniq 6 for $399 per month for 24 months and 10,000 miles per year. You can rest easy with Hyundai Shopper Assurance, America's best 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty at woodhousehyundai.com today. With approved credit, tax, title, and license extra, $3,999 down plus first payment and $299 doc fee due at sign-in. Offer expires November 30th, 2023. See dealer for details.
Farming today is a combination of hard work, innovation, and partnerships to help keep us moving forward. Sapp Brothers Petroleum has provided us with fuel, propane, and lubricants on the farm for many years.
For over 52 years, Sapp Brothers has been a reliable partner to thousands of farmers across our great state. We work hard to make sure our customers have the most reliable supply, provided in the safest manner and at the most competitive price. Trust Sapp Brothers Petroleum to protect your equipment and keep your farm fueled. Sapp Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Huskers Athletics and to serve Nebraska farmers and Husker fans across America's heartland.
Dear roads, trails, and rivers, you ready for some SUV action? Toyota SUVs can roll their sleeves up for tight turns and twisty trails, dress up for a night out on the town, or head to the great outdoors. Take your family adventure game to a whole new level with the roomy Highlander. Make a serious splash with the rugged, revved-up RAV4. And tow all your toys in the spacious new Sequoia. Don't forget the Trailtainment 4Runner and the sleek Venza Hybrid. All Toyota SUVs feature a whole suite of creature comforts to keep you and yours cozy in the cabin. Check out this legendary lineup at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
Back inside our Acres Broadcast Center, Acres is the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer. Acres has solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody with you on a Monday, now post-football season for the Cornhuskers. Peter on our text line said, "Hi, guys. I think Matt has this program on the right track. I do miss having a running back that you can count on to control the game." I just don't think Nebraska had that bell cow that they could give it to 20, 25 times. Maybe it was going to be Gabe Ervin before the injury, but, I think, that's an area they will want to address. Anthony Grant's career is over. I like Emmett. I don't know, Jessica, if Emmett's built to carry it 20 times week in and week out. I don't think he is.
I don't think you can rely on one running back in the Big Ten. You have to have two or three. Look,
Agreed.
We went into the season thinking, it's the deepest room, and you felt good about it, and then here goes two guys down, and it just, you got to have more than one. You got to have more than two. So, I think they've certainly got to be addressed. I don't know what Gabe's progress is going to look like. I know he's still on crutches. He was sitting on the sideline. He was on the sideline on Friday, but he still is moving around pretty gingerly. So I don't know what he'll be back. Obviously, he'll attack it, but I don't know how quickly if he'll be able to go in spring. I have no idea what that progress looks like. And Ramir, I know, has said that he wants to come back. So, but yeah, certainly, I think if you could find another running back that you can rely on, that'd be huge for this team, this offense moving forward.
Let's go to the phones up to Omaha. Doc of Rock, you're up next. Good evening, Doc.
Hey, go Big Grant, Jessica, Greg, how are we doing tonight?
Hey, Doc.
Well, one thing's for sure. We wish we had a few more wins. Boy, we were close in a lot of games. Of course, the turnovers, and we can talk about that, and injuries and what could have happened, but what's done is done. So I'm really interested in picking your guys' brains because I don't remember everything. It's just about, like, Gabe Irvin coming back next year, Ramir Johnson coming back next year, Castaneda, several guys, receivers, and even on the defense, Heinrich. So I'm curious in their potential to come back after injury and eligibility along those lines. And maybe I could sprinkle in one more thing after you touch on that.
Well, I think all those discussions are taking place yesterday, today, tomorrow. I think they've got to have some serious conversations with these young men and decide, all right, are you part of our future or not? And I'm glad I'm not part of that, Doc. I think those are going to be some really tough conversations to have.
Well, I think Gabe could come back. He's got eligibility, right? Gabe Irvin?
Oh, everybody you mentioned could come back. But do you want them back, or do you need to move on and get new blood into the program? They've got guys waiting in the wings who want to be part of this program.
I'd really like to see Gabe Irvin, Castaneda. I could list a few others. It's really going to be interesting, cats from the portal, new, high school recruits coming into the program. I'll agree with the other sentiments of the other callers talking about Matt Rule, and I do think that he's got the program in the right direction. I don't know that you go ahead and start, letting go of assistants. I think Coach talked about one press conference, how well does that work? You know what I mean? First year and so many things you could say, new system and things like that. There is one beef from this season that I can kind of point out, at least for me personally as a fan, and that's the fair catch deal. We heard it earlier on in the season. We weren't going to be doing that, and we weren't. But then we started seeing it again, and it seemed to become a habit again. Not sure why. I've heard about playing aggressive and letting guys go play. So that's my thought. Even on kickoff returns, Tyrone Hughes, Bobby Newcomb, Joe Walker, the list goes on and on. They weren't fair catching the ball. And a couple more things, guys running out of bounds for no reason. You didn't see that in the old days of Nebraska football. I know we're not going to run the triple option again, and those days are over. But when you talk about Nebraska football, you talk about being aggressive, and that's on special teams with fielding the ball, punts, kickoffs, bring the thing upfield. People pull their hair out when you see 10 yards from the nearest guy, and we fair caught the ball basically for no reason. Guys running out of bounds.
Hi, Doc.
After they catch the ball.
Doc, you're starting to repeat yourself. I'm going to appreciate the phone call. The special teams units absolutely have to get better. You saw Ethan Nation not fair catch the other day. He gets hit, he fumbles. I mean, so that whole group's got to get better. And I'm with you. I think we kind of reverted back to our old selves a little bit there. And I think Ed Foley would even be the first to say we got to be better in those phases.
Yeah, and I think, again, the injury to Billy Kemp and some of those guys that you did have back there, Ramir was going to be one of those. And Ramir had a big return in that Minnesota game,
right.
But just having some guys that you have to know what you're doing and trust back there and the decisions that you make. And, Ethan Nation's a true freshman. It's not an ideal situation to put a true freshman in. But, yeah, I think that's certainly something that will continue to be addressed. And it just can make such a huge difference in games, especially when your offense isn't going as well as you'd like for it to be able to rip off a big special teams play and put your offense in a better position certainly is a big weapon for those teams that have that luxury.
Dale in our text line said, regarding the late interception, I think it's quite possible that Purdy expected a receiver to settle into the zone, but he kept running. What are your thoughts? I don't think he saw the defender drop back in coverage. I think he was looking for a crossing route pitch. Might have been Fedoni, but I just think he was shocked that Iowa defender was where he was. and he'd like to have the throwback.
Yeah, I don't think he saw him. I mean, you guys had a better view than me, but I don't think he saw him.
Another text, guys, can you explain the fake field goal from 60 yards? I can't. I mean, that was Coach Rule in his press conference afterwards saying we called a fake. I don't know that Iowa would have fell for it when you're that far out going into the wind, and then Tristan didn't get the message, so he wasn't out there. What I had more of a problem with was just take the penalty there. Don't call a timeout. I would just as soon take the penalty, let Brian come in and punt. It worked out after that, but it cost us a timeout, and you don't like to lose those second half timeouts. Let's go back to the phones. Gary calls up next. Good evening, Gary.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me. How are we tonight?
Hey, Gary. Good.
Hi. I'm going to be brief. I just wanted to just take a second and tell these guys on the team they had a great year. Nothing to hang their heads about. We're in every game with the exception of Michigan and Colorado. And, every game after that's one possession. It could go either way. I say not a bad year for a first-year coach and some young kids. And let's hope for a better year next year. My wife cried a little bit after she saw the players, how sad they were. Nobody hurts worse than the players. The armchair quarterback sitting at home eating his Fritos and bean dip. He's calling plays from home, but he's not out on that field seeing it in real time and playing it in real time. And sometimes I think we forget these are young men playing a game. And we shouldn't put so much emphasis on winning every time. The fact that they do their best, I think, is good enough.
Okay, Gary, I don't know that I can completely go that direction. I mean, these guys are making good money. People are paying good money to come watch them play. I think the ultimate judge is wins and losses. So, I mean, I think the effort was certainly there. I completely hurt for the players, but I don't know that I would say that ultimately just play hard and do that. I'm not sure many fans would go along with you for that.
I will say, though, that, to also remember, though, in that regard, that this was year one, and it's going to take a little time to establish the culture. And if you are doubting it all in the direction and what was established this season under this coaching staff, I posted the post-game show with, thoughts and from everybody. I do it every week on our podcast platforms, but go back and listen to the interviews that I did with the players and tell me that that you don't believe in the direction after hearing their conviction. And again, we're going to hear from Ty Robinson, but if you hear them talking about it, you fully believe in the direction and what was done this season. Is disappointing as it is not getting into a bowl game, but I think it was about more. Yeah, you got to win. This is about winning and losing, but it's also about making sure things are in place to be able to win in the future and doing things the right way in season number one to be able to continue to sustain that success. And so, yeah, you got to win football games. Coach will be the first to tell you that's the business that we're in. But also, I think the season was about more than just winning football games. It was about kind of establishing something to build on for the future.
Set up to Fremont and Gavin. Good evening, Gavin. Welcome to Sports Nightly.
Good afternoon.
Hey, Gavin, how are you?
Good.
Do you have a question for us?
Yeah. What do you think we should do? Like, we should clean up penalties, not have turnovers. We need to be good. You know what I'm saying?
Gavin, you're right. I think turnovers, I think the penalties I think we cleaned that up pretty good the back half of the season, but the turnovers, you just can't go minus 17 in that category and win a lot of football games. That has definitely got to be taken care of. Gavin, good to hear from you. Thanks for the phone call, 402-413-2400. More of your calls coming up and your texts. We'll get to some of those as well. And we're going to hear from Ty Robinson. That's next.
When you're clocking out and happy hour's already started. But you're clocking out and happy hour's already started. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Pick up Bud Light at your local convenience store today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri. This statement has not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
When it comes to my lifestyle and diet, I don't always make the smartest choices.
Touchdown! Woo! Hey, how about another round and some more chips?
But when it comes to taking care of my liver, I do make one very smart choice. Active liver tablets from New Nordic. I used to have real issues with my liver, and at my last checkup, my doc was concerned about my numbers. But since adding a once-a-day active liver tablet, my gut's better, I feel great, and my doctor's happy. I ask a lot of my liver, so the least I can do to say thanks is a daily dose of Active Liver.
Active Liver is one of many award-winning health products from New Nordic, the #1 supplier of dietary supplements in Scandinavia. Purchase at Amazon.com or for a volume discount, visit NewNordicUSA.com. Available as a tablet or delicious sugar-free gummy. Protect and help your liver the easy and effective way with Active Liver at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com.
Husker fans, this Friday, your #1 ranked Husker volleyball team is set to host the first round of the NCAA tournament against Long Island University. Your postseason coverage is presented by John Henry's, the official plumbing, HVAC, and electrical partner of Nebraska Athletics, bringing you all the action on the Husker Radio Network. Broadcast coverage starts on Friday at 6 with first serve at 7. Listen online or on the air. Go Big Red.
It's time to light up the season during the Make the Holidays Bright sales event. Get our best offers and choose from a huge selection of Ford F-150 trucks with the capability, convenience, and technology to help bring us together. Wow. Discover how Ford F-150 can make the holidays bright. Now, get a new 2023 Ford F-150 with 2.9% financing for 72 months. Only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Farming today is a combination of hard work, innovation, and partnerships to help keep us moving forward. Sapp Brothers Petroleum has provided us with fuel, propane, and lubricants on the farm for many years.
For over 52 years, Sapp Brothers has been a reliable partner to thousands of farmers across our great state. We work hard to make sure our customers have the most reliable supply, provided in the safest manner and at the most competitive price. Trust Sapp Brothers Petroleum to protect your equipment and keep your farm fueled. Sapp Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Huskers Athletics and to serve Nebraska farmers and Husker fans across America's heartland.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Love is all around during the 2023 Subaru Share the Love event. By the end of this, our 16th year, Subaru and retailers like us will have donated over $285 million to charities such as the ASPCA, Make-A-Wish, Meals on Wheels America, and the National Park Foundation. Beardmore Subaru is proud to support Sarpy County Housing Authority during the Subaru Share the Love event. Visit Beardmore Subaru in Bellevue or online at beardmoresubaru.com for more details.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska exists to be there with you. They are rooting for the schools and teachers who make our communities great. That's why Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska is proud to sponsor Touchdowns for Teachers and ask Husker fans to nominate outstanding educators who help Nebraska students reach their potential. If there's a teacher you want to recognize for the impact they've made in your community, find a nomination form at huskers.com/touchdownsforteachers.
Hi, this is Husker National Champion and Super Bowl champ Tony Veland. Throughout my football career, chiropractic care helped my athletic performance on the field and kept me in the game. Today, regular chiropractic care keeps me healthy and active to do the things I love. Chiropractic is safe and effective for all ages. Make chiropractic your first choice to reduce pain, improve your mobility, and feel better naturally. It works for me, and it can work for you too. Learn more at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Stay active with chiropractic.
It's time to light up the season during the Make the Holidays Bright sales event. Get our best offers and choose from a huge selection of Ford F-150 trucks with the capability, convenience, and technology to help bring us together. Wow. Discover how Ford F-150 can make the holidays bright. Now, get a new 2023 Ford F-150 with 2.9% financing for 72 months. Only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Maybe your hometown celebrates long-standing Swiss traditions. Cow chip throwing. Or even classic car muscle. Everyone has a hometown, and every hometown has a festival. Cenex wants to hear about yours. That's why we're launching the Hometown Throwdown. Tell us about your fest, and it could win $100,000. Learn more at CenexHometownThrowdown.com. Cenex, powered locally.
Folks, time to tell you that seatbelt use saves lives and prevents injuries. Nearly 15,000 lives saved per year. Buckle up. This message from the NDOT Highway Safety Office, particularly with these slippery conditions we're going to be having in the coming months with winter, snow, and ice. Welcome back, Sports Night here on a Monday night, 402-413-2400. The number to dial up for a comment or question or fire off a text. After the game, Jessica always handles our locker room show, and sometimes those are really tough interviews to do, particularly after the season-ending game on Saturday. But, man, you had some really good conversations with some guys Saturday.
Yeah, and this was Ty Robinson again. He had made the announcement this week, the week leading into it, that he's going to be coming back. And so I thought he provided great perspective just on the season as a whole and this thing moving forward. Well, I guess what was the message there in the locker room?
How much we love and appreciate the seniors, and they might not be able to be here and see that it's winning or that we're winning, but they definitely started something for us to work on for next year, and that the glory comes after. It's not always going to be the first guys that come. So just a lot of love, a lot of appreciation, a lot of emotion in there. So
you were all over the place, you and Nash, here to start this game. What kind of motivation did you have coming into this one?
I mean, it's a big game always this time of year against them. So they're a good football team today. I thought we played well on both sides of the ball, but at the end of the day, we knew who it was going to come down to, and we knew it was going to come down to our room, so we wanted to take over the game and see if we could win.
You guys have had so many injuries, and next man up, that mentality, and just how many people were able to fill roles throughout this whole season, but today as well. I mean, what can you say about that and the way people bought into what was ever needed?
It just goes to show that, like you said, everyone's bought in, and at any moment it's important for them to know their job. And I know more than just one job, and I know a lot of other guys know more than just one job, just in case someone does go down. So I think that was pretty crucial for us to have as successful as a season as we did.
You announced that you're coming back for another one, and obviously made this coaching staff really happy. But what went into that decision? Why did you want to come back?
Yeah, I just love it here, man. I don't think I was ready to leave Nebraska the way it was, and I don't. When it comes to football, I really only had 2 months to get ready for the season. So the coaches kind of made jokes that I was in week 4 when we were in week 12 right now, and I'm finally started to get in the groove. So thankfully, I won't need any surgery after the season, and I'll be able just to get to work.
How much do you have confidence in everything that was done this year, despite, the outcome today, but just everything that was set in place for this season?
I mean, I laid my life on the line for what they got going on up there. I fully believe in what Coach Rule and the coaching staff has implemented and put in front of us to help us be successful.
Last thing, just the seniors, you mentioned the guys that played their last game out here today. What would you say to them? How special have they been, and what was done this season too?
Yeah, I came in with all of them. I decided to stay back, and a few of them have decided to move on. But just the memories and the grind and all the ups and downs together, it's been memorable, and you can't take that away from us for the rest of our life.
Appreciate it, Ty.
Thank you.
So yeah, I mean, you hear it right there, and just how much he believes, and that is a guy that, of all the guys we could talk about going to the NFL and potentially having a shot, because he would test well throughout everything, he decided to come back because he believed in the things here. So if anything else, just listen to that interview and that what he said right there to me speaks volumes, because he was the guy that did have a chance to go and probably get drafted decently high in this year's draft, but he wanted to come back and felt like he had unfinished business.
He and Nash are a pretty dynamic duo up front for Nebraska on that defensive line. Let's chat with Matt in Lincoln. Good evening, Matt. Welcome to Sports Nightly.
Hello. I want to preface this by saying I've got every bit of confidence in these coaches, and I think we will get this turned around over time. And you're talking about the elephant in the room, and that is turnovers. But what I haven't heard discussed is what are the coaches doing in practice to make the turnovers not happen in a game, and are they seeing this in practice? It just baffles me. You know, are there drills? Are there things that they're doing in practice to help take care of the problem for next year? Thank you.
Yeah, that's a great point. And the coaches have been asked this by the media throughout the year, and they kind of skirted the issue, which tells me that the turnovers are happening in practice as well. So then the next step, and Jeremiah or Damon could talk about this way better than I could. What you have to do is then coach your way kind of around that. You don't put your position and call plays that are susceptible to turnovers. I don't like the way Chuba carries the football. Damon made a comment.
Yeah, he said that multiple times throughout the broadcast.
He did. He kind of holds it out there, and the ball just kind of slipped out of his hands a few times. Well, that, I think you could coach him out of that.
Well, look at Anthony Grant.
Hold the ball better. Hold the ball this way.
Yeah, I mean, Anthony Grant had the fumble issues, and then he was better. He improved and how he carried the football. It was addressed in practice, and he didn't fumble again the last however many games.
He didn't.
There are things you could do that they obviously did with Anthony Grant that can be done, but I don't know. I mean, I feel like if they knew what to do, it would have been fixed, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. One more caller before we work in our final break. Sue here in the state of Nebraska. Good evening, Sue. Welcome to Sports Nightly.
Yes, I've been unable to listen until just now tonight, and I know you're talking football, but I was wondering about the volleyball. Are we going to be able to get that on TV this weekend?
They're on ESPN Plus, so you'll have to be subscribed to ESPN Plus. Those are both matches will be on that subscription service.
Okay, I was scared of that. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Sue. Yeah, if they get through this weekend, then the matches next weekend will be on either ESPN2 or ESPNU. ESPN has the rights to the tournament, but yeah, this weekend, ESPN Plus for those two matches.
I know that's not everybody has that. It stinks, but probably most local bars around here will have it, so you could probably find a place to watch it if you don't.
JB and Lauren.
Yes.
Right here.
Yeah, absolutely.
On the Huskers Radio Network. Hey, if problem gambling is burning up your money, there is a way out. Help is free and confidential for Nebraskans and their families. There's no judgment, just help. Visit lifeafterbet.com. We're back with our final few minutes of Hour 1 next.
Hey Huskers, it's a new day in Nebraska. Manzer Equipment, Mertz Farm Equipment, and West Point Implement of Columbus have teamed up as True Ag and Turf. Coach Rule is bringing innovation and high-performance standards to Husker football, and True Ag is doing the same to your farm with game-changing Fendt equipment. As Big Red establishes power on the field, True Ag and Turf does the same in the field by welcoming Fendt to Nebraska. Farming today is a combination of hard work, innovation, and partnerships to help keep us moving forward. Sapp Brothers Petroleum has provided us with fuel, propane, and lubricants on the farm for many years.
For over 52 years, Sapp Brothers has been a reliable partner to thousands of farmers across our great state. We work hard to make sure our customers have the most reliable supply, provided in the safest manner and at the most competitive price. Trust Sapp Brothers Petroleum to protect your equipment and keep your farm fueled. Sapp Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Huskers Athletics and to serve Nebraska farmers and Husker fans across America's heartland.
Hi, this is Husker National Champion and Super Bowl champ Tony Veland. Throughout my football career, chiropractic care helped my athletic performance on the field and kept me in the game. Today, regular chiropractic care keeps me healthy and active to do the things I love. Chiropractic is safe and effective for all ages. Make chiropractic your first choice to reduce pain, improve your mobility, and feel better naturally. It works for me, and it can work for you too. Learn more at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Stay active with chiropractic.
Farmers, ensure your engines have the power and performance to get the job done. Central Valley Ag can help with Ruby Fieldmaster Diesel. With 4.5% more power and up to 5% better fuel economy, you can be sure your equipment is running on the best fuel. Register to win 500 gallons of Ruby Diesel when you contract 500 gallons or more. Enter to win at cvacoop.com. Our planet is hungry. Together, we feed it. There's room at the table. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
There's no community like a Cenex community. And that's why every Cenex store is so proud to serve theirs by supporting local athletic teams, promoting the arts, and making sure each store is a place its neighbors can find what they need, catch up with their friends, and stay connected. It's also why we give back, helping to make the wonderful places we call home the best they can be. Your local Cenex doesn't just work in your town, it lives there. The store next door, powered locally at Cenex.
It's time for some Nebraska farm facts. Want to know a fast way to rev up our Nebraska economy while helping the planet? It's right in your tank. When you fill up with clean soy-based biodiesel, you're increasing Nebraska biodiesel production while reducing greenhouse gases by up to 74%. So look for biodiesel where you fill up. It benefits our air, our economy, and our farmers. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
We're back inside the Acres Broadcast Center. Acres is the Midwest premier John Deere dealer supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres solutions for every field. Glad our last caller referenced volleyball. I like the draw. Coach Cook, I got the feeling he did as well. Coach Cook's show, by the way, will be on Thursday back to his normal time at 6 o'clock. But I think they got a good draw. Yeah, and not overlooking anybody by any means, but I was really glad to see Wisconsin get the 3 seed and not the 4 seed. Yeah. You know, the number 4 overall seed, because then that means you're not facing them until the national championship match. And so I let out a huge sigh of relief on that, because with the way that they had ended the season, I thought they had potentially fans up there were thinking that they were on the verge of maybe not being able to host. And so for them to go from maybe on the outside looking in to being the 3 seed and not the 4 seed was huge. Well, don't you think they needed to beat Nebraska? Yes, that absolutely solidified it, yeah. Because I think if Huskers had beaten them, I don't think they'd have been in the 4. No, they would, because then they would have lost 4 straight going into it. Right. But then you beat the number 1 team that hadn't been beaten all year, that looked absolutely dominant at times. For them to have that on the resume, I think certainly helped them get back into that conversation. Starts Friday here in Lincoln, 7 o'clock. There'll be the second match of the day. Missouri will play the earlier match. If the seeds hold, Nebraska would play Missouri then on Saturday night, and that's an old Big 8, Big 12 rivalry with the Missouri Tigers. A lot of SEC teams in our bracket. Florida or Kentucky's in there. They're the 2 seed. You've got Missouri, who's the 8 seed. They're an SEC team, so kind of a Southeast influence in the bracket, where Wisconsin got a bunch of Big Ten teams. As is kind of how it is with every single sport, right? SEC gets a lot of nods. I noticed Missouri's record. I was like, that looks like a couple teams from the Big Ten that didn't get in. Right? Because we were sitting here talking about the RPI a couple weeks ago, and I don't know. It's kind of shocking to me to see some of the records from some of those teams, and then there were not as many Big Ten teams that normally get in, right? Minnesota, I think, was one of probably the last few to get in. Their RPI was 41 or something like that. That's dicey area there, but they did. So you got 5 that make it in there. So it starts Friday night at the Devaney Center. Huskers in Long Island. It'll be long shot for Long Island to come in and beat the Huskers in that first match, but you got to be ready to play. And I know John Cook's probably not mentioning anybody else other than his first it's how it's been all season. It's one match at a time, 1 point at a time, and so they'll be ready to roll. Again, volleyball show Thursday, normal time, 6 o'clock. Tomorrow, AD show. Trev Alberts will be here an hour at 1, his monthly show. A lot to talk to him about on Monday. Also, I'm recording The Dig tomorrow morning, so we'll have a new episode of The Dig coming out tomorrow. And we'll play some of that for you tomorrow night. We're going to talk basketball next hour. Why not, right? The undefeated Huskers. Fred Hoiberg's here. Amy Williams will be here. Looking forward to talking some hoops with all of you next hour. Woodhouse Auto Family. They are your trusted auto partner. 20 brands, 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Hey, Husker fans, it's Matt Davison with the 1890 Initiative. As we get ready to celebrate 1890's one-year anniversary, I'm proud to say the 1890 Initiative now represents 150 Husker student-athletes in 9 sports. And with your help, we can keep 1890 going strong, helping student-athletes get the most from their name, image, and likeness, and preparing them for life after college. Visit 1890nebraska.com to learn more about NIL and 1890 and contribute today.
Dear roads, trails, and rivers, you ready for some SUV action? Toyota SUVs can roll their sleeves up for tight turns and twisty trails. Dress up for a night out on the town or head to the great outdoors. Take your family adventure game to a whole new level with the roomy Highlander. Make a serious splash with the rugged, revved up RAV4. And tow all your toys in the spacious new Sequoia. Don't forget the trail-taming 4Runner and the sleek Venza Hybrid. All Toyota SUVs feature a whole suite of creature comforts to keep you and yours cozy in the cabin. Check out this legendary lineup at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
When you're clocking out and happy hour's already started. But you're clocking out and happy hour's already started. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Pick up Bud Light at your local convenience store today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Now Minnesota outside roll shot. Walker block back and it drops. Another block by the Big Red. Berg and Riley back at Alec, Nebraska piling those babies.
Here's Darian White stopping in the foul line after Jazz Shelley unguarded three. You betcha! Jazz Shelley with a Central Valley Egg three to start the third.
Against Lawrence on the other end, lays it up. Shot blocked by Williams. Into the hands of Lawrence. The baseball pass and the jam. The jamola by Gary on the other end.
What a block by Bryce Williams to get that one started. Juwan Gary cherry picking after the badly missed three and able to throw one.
Maybe Wisconsin did not game plan for Maisie Bozen. They pass this one. Here comes the slide. Schmeck. She's blocked. Maisie comes in. Suddenly it's all Huskers.
Williams across the timeline. Throws it to next to down the left side. And Gary to the rim. Puts it up and in. Great play. Gary to the rack. And the Huskers are up 5. Their biggest lead of the night. Juwan Gary in double figures with 11.
The pass outside. Landfair's up front now. She swings. There's Laney. Huskers feed middle back. Got kaboom. Whew. Putting dents in the pavilion deck.
She will reset with 12 on the shot clock. Once the screen gets it from Markowski to the right elbow, back out top. Markowski will shoot a three. You betcha! Ties the game. A three-pointer by Markowski off the assist from Hayes.
One arms the pass to Mass. Right sideline now. Lawrence. Cross court left. Here's Tominaga's three. Got it! Casey Tominaga with his 10th three of the year. Another CBA three. Second one of the game, and the Huskers have it doubled up on Fullerton 10-5.
Kroll throws to a cutting Darian White. Left low block. Spins twice. Spins a third time. Flips it
Oh!
up. And it counts! And a foul! Da-da-da! Da-da-da! How did that go in? You won't see a play that good.
Served by Lexi Twinkles the twine. Good pass by Hannah Grant. The slide Jackie Boney blocked. Ellie Badenhorst had a little help. Andy Jackson.
Huskers have the ball. Up and down we go. Nebraska by 6, 21-15. With it is Coleman. He's got his man in jail. Bounce pass, blind bounce pass behind him, and the three is good. What an assist by Coleman, and the three. Another CBA three. This one by Rink Mass.
Served by Laney. Bad pass, and that's an ace. They did it. Conference champions. All by themselves. And the players dogpile. Oh, look at that emotion released. That's a happy bunch of Huskers and so deserving.
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
We're back, hour number 2, Sports Island here on a Monday night. We're going to shift gears, talk a little basketball this hour. Got the head coach, Fred Hoiberg, with us for segment 1. Amy Williams will be in segment 2. We'll start our full hour shows with both coaches beginning next week. But let's start with the hottest team in town, the 7-0 Cornhuskers. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been a fun start to the season.
We talked to you last Monday, and I know you were concerned about the Duquesne game, rightfully so. That was a pretty good basketball team you beat on Wednesday.
Yeah, it's a really good team. They're dangerous because of their guards. They're so good at getting downhill, getting into the paint. They're athletic. They make plays. They can shoot it, and their bigs are athletic, and they do a great job playing their roles that they get. So, we knew that was a dangerous game. I loved our second half. I thought we came out with great intensity. I think it was a 2-point game at halftime and got that thing all the way up to 17 at one point in the second half. Our offense really clicked in the second half. Our pace was great. I thought we made simple plays. My biggest concern going into that game was their pressure, and we handled it about as well as you could have. We only had 2 turnovers, and both those happened early in the game. 18 assists, 2 turnovers, and that was a huge part of it. And then we knew we had a really good chance of getting into the bonus if we took care of the ball and if we were strong with it. And I thought that's exactly what we did. We got into the bonus, I think, within 5 minutes of that second half, and then made our free throws. We were 28 of 31 at the line, and we needed every one of those.
Takeaway yesterday's last 10 minutes. You're playing faster and you mentioned the lack of turnovers. You're keeping, now I know it got a little sloppy late yesterday, But that has to really please you that you've picked the pace up with this team, and yet you're taking good care of the ball.
Yeah, you have to do that. If you're going to be a fast-paced team, you have to do a great job of taking care of the ball. And yesterday it was 19 assists and 9 turnovers. 4 of those came in a pretty short stretch where we let them back in the game, which I was disappointed in, that we didn't extend that lead when we got it up, I think, to 19 at one point. But, yeah, overall, we've really made strides in that area. We had a little stretch there early in the season, but we've, for the most part, corrected that. And we need to continue on that same path if we're going to have a chance of winning and sustaining success the rest of the year.
I'm going to jump back to Wednesday's game with Duquesne real quick, and then we'll cover some Fullerton stuff. But at one point in that second half, I'm like, man, Casey hasn't been out there for a while, but you found a group that really got it going, and that looks like that may be an option for you all year, is that you can have a 5 on the floor. You're like, I'm just going to let this group roll.
Well, it was pretty much our bench that went on that run for our team. It was, I think, it was Juwan. Josiah was the only starter that was out there at the time, and I think it was CJ, Sam, and Boogie that were out there together. I thought Boogie had complete control of that game. He had 4 consecutive possessions where he assisted on a basket, and that's how this team is built. We have great depth, and it's not always going to be your night, and you have to accept that. And I think for the most part, our guys have done that.
I think there was 16 straight possessions you scored.
Yeah, it was remarkable, and we kept going to what was giving us success. We were driving the ball, we were absorbing contact, we were getting to the free throw line. When they did converge on the ball, I thought we made the simple play in the kick out to the open shooters, and just made play after play. When that group got a little tired, I've got the starters back out there, and they hit some big shots there at the end of the game to put it away.
All right, yesterday you ran into a hot shooter for Fullerton. He was really, really good in the first half. When that happens, what's the message to the guys during timeouts?
Well, he's a heck of a player, and it's about Juwan's size, and I think that's one of the luxuries of a guy like Juwan is he can guard 1 through 5. And in the second half, we just matched Juwan on him. Started with Bryce, who got a little bit more size on him, and then we went to Juwan pretty much the rest of that game. Juwan really slowed him down. I thought in that second half, that was one of the adjustments that we made at halftime to get more size on him. He has not been shooting the ball great. They only had 2 guys, I think, that had made 9 threes. Nobody else had made more than 2. And they got it going, and give them credit for that. And, but we shut him down at the right time. We second half, I thought, again, offensively, we found a really nice rhythm. And, again, guys made simple plays, shared the ball. We knew they were going to converge on it. If we kept our spacing, we knew that we'd be able to get some good open looks. And, again, did a great job at the free throw line, making 19 out of 20.
You told Kent and Jake after the game that you feel like your defense has slipped a little bit. Did the film study did that confirm it when you went back and watched yesterday?
We didn't do very well. We didn't guard the ball very well yesterday. Just simple, basic staying in front of the ball. And we got to get back to doing the basics better. Hitting, making contact. I thought we had a great stretch where we had great physicality out there on the floor, and we dominated the glass in 4 consecutive games. I think 13, 18, and 20, out-rebounding our opponent. And now the last 2 games, we got out-rebounded on Wednesday night, and then yesterday we ended up winning the rebound battle by 1, but we got to get back to hitting first. We got to neutralize length and athleticism when we have that opportunity. We're going to obviously face great length next week on Sunday with Kalkbrenner and physicality with King coming off the bench. So that's going to be a big emphasis this week in practice. We have to get back to hitting first in going up and securing the ball. And then offensively, that'll get us out in transition. It'll get us on the break. Teams are crashing a lot on us. And when we do secure it, go up with a 2-hand rebound, we're having a very efficient offense going the other way.
We're nitpicking at a group that's 7-0 for the first time in 31 years. But that's okay. You got a long season to go.
Yeah, it's for this group, my big message to them is continue to grow. We need to continue to get better. A lot of teams are in the same situation we are right now. In these early season games, you see things that you're doing well, but there's also a lot of things that you need to continue to do better as we approach this next stretch. It's Creighton, it's at Minnesota on the road, 2 Big Ten games, Michigan State, and then at Kansas State. So our schedule gets really difficult here coming up. So we need a great week of prep. Today's an off day for us. We'll get back in the gym tomorrow, and then we have to take Wednesday off as well per NCAA rule. And then we'll get 3 days really to prepare, get the game plan in, and hopefully go out and play well next Sunday.
Yeah, last Monday I talked to you about the NBA-type schedule. You were playing so much. This week you do have a full week in the gym. The benefits of that would be what for you?
Well, we get to address a lot of the things, and we'll get a good film session with our guys tomorrow morning and have the opportunity. They'll get a good lift in tomorrow, and then we'll we'll have an opportunity to go out and address those things on the floor. We'll get a good skill workout. We'll be able to rest. We're going to give a couple of our guys the next 3 days, today, tomorrow, and Wednesday, off just to heal some little nagging injuries that our guys have going on. And then get them back on the floor on Wednesday. So it's a really good opportunity for guys to go out and really focus on skill, because we have not had a lot of practice time. It's really put in the game plan. I really try to taper things down as we get close to the game so they're fresh and have their legs on game night. But this gives us a chance to really get back to the basics and hopefully improve in some areas, especially on the defensive end.
Fair to say coaches enjoy weeks like this way more than players?
Yeah, players hate it. I remember, this is a player, you always love the 1 to 2 day preps, because, you weren't out there for usually more than an hour, but we'll get some good long physical practices. Thursday's going to be a really hard day for our guys. I met with our sports science and performance staff this morning, and Thursday is going to be almost a game load type day for our guys, and then we'll back off the 2 days leading in to the game. But, again, it gives us a great opportunity as a staff to really address some things that we need to improve on.
Coach Hoiberg with us. The Huskers off to a 7-0 start. We'll get the week off, play Creighton on Sunday at PBA. Casey didn't miss a shot yesterday. Do you feel like he's kind of settled back in? I almost felt like he was rushing those first couple games back. Do you feel like he's found his place again?
Yeah, I think he took really good shots yesterday. You hit it on the head. I mean, those first couple games, he was really hunting shots and taking some. And listen, he's been making those in practice, so you can't fault him too much for a guy that shot over 50 from the field, over 40 from three, and almost 90 from the free throw line a year ago. But I really thought he let the game come to him. And you look at that efficiency, he took 5 shots and scored 17 points. That's a pretty darn good night.
5 guys in double figures. Is that how you envision this to go, and do you kind of think that's going to continue for this group?
Yeah, I hope it does. And, CJ, who's been really shooting the ball well in practice, I thought had some really good looks, or he could have been a guy that was in that could have been in double figures very easily as well. The thing that I've really been impressed with our group is the unselfishness. They just go out and make the right play. We talk about scout victories on the defensive end when you take away a primary option, but we also have scout victories in the offensive end, and we put together a edit on that side of the floor. And a team like last night and a team like Duquesne, they're going to swarm the ball. And I thought our guys did a great job of not over-penetrating and making the right play. And you could tell by looking at our assist-to-turnover ratio these last 2 games that our guys are really paying attention to what we're asking of them.
Speaking of that ratio, Jamarcus Lawrence, I think, was 6 assists, no turnovers. Talk about his progress you've seen from him kind of being the lead guard for this team. Yeah, he's gone 3 games now without a turnover. And like you said, 6-0 last night. I thought second half he was much better as the game went on. And he just what we've really stressed to Jamarcus, and it's a complete shift in mindset when you go playing off the ball, which he's done his whole life. He played with one of the top point guards in the country with Simeon Wilcher at Roselle Catholic in New Jersey, and now he's being asked to play with the ball in his hands really for the first time. He had spot minutes there a year ago behind Griesel once Bandamel went out, but to really have that role this year, he's bought into it great. He's had unbelievable pace. I think he's doing a great job of now starting to shoot the ball when he has openings, where earlier on he was really just trying to spray it and get us into an offense. He's hit, I think, 2 threes in the last couple games, and we want him to continue to be aggressive because he really can shoot the ball. Do you think you've spread the minutes out pretty nicely these first 7 games? How beneficial do you think that will be come February and hopefully deep into March? Yeah,
it's important, and I think we've got 8 guys playing over 18 minutes. And, if we can continue on with that depth, our young guys are getting better. Matar had a great week of practice. There was a stretch where I thought I was going to put him out there yesterday, and he'll get opportunity. Eli had really good moments early on in his career. Those guys certainly need to keep themselves ready, and they've done a great job on our scout team and helping prepare us for games, along with Ulyss and Ramel Lloyd, Jeff Grace, and Henry Burt. Those guys have done a really good job in helping prepare our team, the guys that are in the rotation right now, for live action. They don't get a lot of glory for what they're doing, but that's a huge role on this team, and those guys have bought into that.
All right, let's peek ahead. Creighton's here on Sunday. They got tripped up by a really good Colorado State team last week. Your thoughts, we're still almost a week out, on playing the Jays?
Yeah, I mean, obviously one of the top teams in the country, coming off a season very easily where they could have been in the Final Four last year, losing that on that last second play. last year to San Diego State, but a team obviously that poses so many problems because everybody on the floor can shoot. They can all space it. They've got great length. They've got great experience. A lot of those guys are back from last year's team. Biggest thing with Creighton, you have to get back and transition and do as good a job as possible of not letting them get easy, uncontested shots in transition. They do a great job rolling to the rim with Kalkbrenner and with their bigs. We need a good week of prep. They play one more game. They got Oklahoma State on Thursday, so we'll get one more opportunity to look at them. Very dangerous team. We're looking forward to the challenge.
You've got a 4-game stretch coming up here with a couple conference games thrown in there, and you're going to see some bigger bodies. You feel more comfortable this year with the number of bigs you have now to go battle some of these taller teams?
Yeah. And you're absolutely right. Starting on Sunday with Kalkbrenner, and then Minnesota obviously is huge. We lost Blaze last year, late in the year, who certainly could have helped us in that Big Ten game, but they're playing very good basketball with only one loss. Right now, and then obviously with Michigan State, they've always got great size, and then Kansas State just extremely athletic. I like our depth. Jawan back on the floor has made a huge difference for our team, but I love what Rink and Josiah are giving us in that starting unit right now with Jawan, kind of with the 3 guys that are giving us front court minutes, and then Bryce as well giving us backup, and then again, Matar is going to get his opportunity sooner than later.
All right, fans are noticing. I think the crowds the last couple of games have been really good. You may not notice it because you're coaching, but I think the folks are jumping on board, and you need them big time on Sunday. Yeah,
crowd's been great. Our student section has been phenomenal in the early portion of the season. Even when the students had a break for Thanksgiving this last week, I thought both times the student section was awesome. That Duquesne crowd reminded me of last year in February, and obviously it's going to be a great crowd on Sunday, and we appreciate it. We appreciate the support. We're going to continue to fight and battle and hopefully be a team that's very easy to root for.
Well, have a good week in the gym, and we're ready for Sunday already.
Yep, thanks. Appreciate it, Greg.
There he is, head coach Fred Hoiberg with us here on Sports Nightly. Woodhouse Auto Family, your trusted auto partner. 20 brands, 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. Jessica's back with Coach Williams. We'll talk some women's hoops next.
It's time to light up the season during the Make the Holidays Bright sales event. Get our best offers and choose from a huge selection of Ford F-150 trucks with the capability, convenience, and technology to help bring us together. Wow. Discover how Ford F-150 can make the holidays bright. Now, get a new 2023 Ford F-150 with 2.9% financing for 72 months. Only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Hi, I'm a volleyball. It's an okay life. I go back and forth about it. But I really wish I was a Nebraska Lottery Powerball or Mega Millions Mega Ball. See, all they have to do is mix around in a big plastic bubble and roll down a ramp, and then people win millions. What a great life. As for me, I get thrown around all day and have to worry about getting spiked, which is about to happen right now. Oh, ow! Couldn't you just do a nice, gentle tip?
The Nebraska Lottery. Top prize odds vary by game.
It's time for another round of Nebraska Farm Facts. If there's one thing Nebraska's known for, it's our beef. And Nebraska soybeans feed a lot of them, and even more pigs and chickens. Farmers and ranchers raise livestock and poultry to provide nutritious, affordable protein for all ages to help build muscle and maintain energy for a healthy lifestyle. Keep that in mind as you prepare all that tasty meat on your tailgate grill. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Farmers, ensure your engines have the power and performance to get the job done. Central Valley Ag can help with Ruby Fieldmaster Diesel. With 4.5% more power and up to 5% better fuel economy, you can be sure your equipment is running on the best fuel. Register to win 500 gallons of Ruby Diesel when you contract 500 gallons or more. Enter to win at cvacoop.com. Our planet is hungry. Together, we feed it. There's room at the table. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation.
Maybe your hometown celebrates long-standing Swiss traditions. Cow chip throwing. Or even classic car muscle. Everyone has a hometown, and every hometown has a festival. Cenex wants to hear about yours. That's why we're launching the Hometown Throwdown. Tell us about your fest, and it could win $100,000. Learn more at CenexHometownThrowdown.com. Cenex, powered locally.
Hey, Husker fans, it's Matt Davison with the 1890 Initiative. As we get ready to celebrate 1890's one-year anniversary, I'm proud to say the 1890 Initiative now represents 150 Husker student athletes in 9 sports. And with your help, we can keep 1890 going strong, helping student athletes get the most from their name, image, and likeness, and preparing them for life after college. Visit 1890nebraska.com to learn more about NIL and 1890 and contribute today.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks, foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
Hi, this is Husker National Champion and Super Bowl champ Tony Veland. Throughout my football career, chiropractic care helped my athletic performance on the field and kept me in the game. Today, regular chiropractic care keeps me healthy and active to do the things I love. Chiropractic is safe and effective for all ages. Make chiropractic your first choice to reduce pain, improve your mobility, and feel better naturally. It works for me, and it can work for you too. Learn more at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Stay active with chiropractic.
Hey Husker fans, it's Matt Davison with the 1890 Initiative. As we get ready to celebrate 1890's one-year anniversary, I'm proud to say the 1890 Initiative now represents 150 Husker student athletes in 9 sports. And with your help, we can keep 1890 going strong, helping student athletes get the most from their name, image, and likeness, and preparing them for life after college. Visit 1890nebraska.com to learn more about NIL and 1890 and contribute today.
Everybody wants a classic Christmas. Well, there's nothing more classic than cash. So until January 3rd, 2024, enter non-winning Nebraska Lottery Holiday Classic scratch tickets online, and you could win $1,000, $5,000, $10,000, or $20,000. Hurry and jingle all the way to your nearest Nebraska Lottery retailer and have yourself a classic little Christmas with the whole family of Holiday Classic scratch tickets. Top prize odds vary by game.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Get ready again for some Nebraska farm facts. When there's work to be done, Nebraska soybeans are on the job in many of your everyday products. In fact, Nebraska soybeans are hard at work in Goodyear tires, Ford cars and trucks, Skechers shoes, asphalt, fuels, lubricants, name brand paints and stains, and more. Soybeans are an innovative replacement for petroleum, leading to more sustainable products all over the world. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Welcome back into our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. As we welcome you back to Sports Nightly, it's time for our weekly chat with Amy Williams, the head coach of Nebraska women's basketball. Well, welcome back. You guys were in sunny Florida and came back to snowy Nebraska. How was that change of weather for you?
Yes, we enjoyed our time in Florida, and we were very blessed to spend some time right there on the beach in St. Petersburg, and it was a beautiful trip, but it's good to be home.
So 1-1 over the week. What were your big takeaways over the week there in Florida?
Yeah, I thought we saw some really good things out of our team. We were able to adjust our defense a little bit, but did not get off to a great start in the game against TCU. And we've got to learn our lesson about that. We have 2 losses against some really good teams this year in Creighton and TCU, and both of those games we didn't get off to a super great start, and then just showed a lot of fight to continue to get back in games and make them competitive. But we're learning our lesson and know that when we're playing the best teams in the country, we have to be able to put together 40 minutes.
22 points for Natalie Potts in the win over Lamar. What was working for her in that matchup?
Yeah, I thought she just stayed really aggressive, both offensively and defensively. She made some really hustle plays where she just got some offensive rebound kind of putbacks and really sparked us when we needed some help with just some scoring. And so it was great to see that. And I thought we got some contributions from all over the place in that particular ball game, and specifically on the defensive side of the ball. I thought Logan Nisley in particular, when we went to our zone defense, just did a great job of really being smart to personnel and understanding, which people we needed to get to on the perimeter in that zone and which people we could kind of skip over.
You mentioned the not off to a great start against TCU, but you fought back, down by as much as 20, and then you scored 56 points in the second half. What went into the comeback? What were you seeing out of your team that allowed you guys to fight and claw back into that thing?
Well, I thought we played with much greater pace in the second half. And I think, in the first half we were really kind of on our heels and more, waiting to get the ball to a point guard and walking the ball up the floor and really trying to kind of get into our plays but didn't play with great pace. And I thought in the second half when we talked about really pushing pace and being aggressive offensively, obviously it was much better effort in the second half and put up our highest point total of a half this season.
I thought it was really impressive. I mean, you have your Jazz Shelley.
And so to have players like that coming in off the bench and sparking us and being able to give us kind of point production and playing hard defensively and just, finding ways to bring things to the table, if it's rebounding and, whatever it might be. But knowing that, when you get your opportunity, you have to bring something to the table for our team.
Logan Nisley gets going, and you've been certainly very complimentary of her and big expectations for her as a shooter for this program. But for her to come in and deliver those big buckets, what does that do for you as a coach, knowing that, hey, if you need a big three in a big moment, that she's going to be able to deliver those?
Yeah, I mean, I think we need to have really balanced attack, and we've got several people on this team that I have confidence in as shooters, even though in this young season we haven't really shot the ball particularly well from behind the arc, and we see it in practice all the time. I think Callan Hake, Jazz Shelley, Logan Nisley, all very good and consistent shooters in practice. And now we just need them to continue to be consistent with it in game situations. But I thought the best thing about Logan's contribution in that TCU game late was she knocked down a couple of threes, but she also got an offensive rebound, put back and one. She got herself to the free throw line a couple times, made free throws, just finding other ways besides just from behind the arc where we know she's really capable.
You guys can shoot the ball. I mean, it's obvious. You have shooters, and we've seen it from this team. What goes into getting it going from the three-point line in a young season?
Yeah, I think just continuing to work together and kind of finding ways to get things to mesh a little bit. I think there are times where we're maybe pressing a little or taking shots that are not necessarily always within the flow of what our offense is, and that sometimes leads to a little bit lower percentage. But I think just continuing to learn each other, and we have a lot of new players playing a lot of minutes with Darian White and Natalie Potts and Logan Nisley, and just finding ways to get those new players and Jess Petrie and those kids to be comfortable with each other, and the rest of our team comfortable around them, to know where those players can help create shots for us and then step up and knock them down with confidence.
You had mentioned the rebounding and being more aggressive in the game against TCU. When you are out, when you do have someone like Sedona Prince, and what goes into that, and ensuring that you are battling for those boards and not allowing them to win the rebounding battle in that regard?
Well, and I thought Alexis Markowski was just a warrior. I thought she had 14 rebounds in that game. It's not an easy task when you're going up. We did change a little bit of our defensive scheme and philosophy a little bit to allow Lex to stay underneath and to maintain her rebounding position for at least part of that ball game. But we just feel like we need to have more consistent contributions on the boards, and particularly just finding ways. We can't have players that are playing 20-25 minutes a game and not coming away with any rebounds. We've got to find a way to really get tough on the boards and make sure that we're taking care of business there. I thought in the first half of that game we wanted to hold TCU to single-digit offensive rebounds, and they had 10 at halftime. So, something that we had a long discussion about at halftime, and I thought we did a much better job holding them to 4 offensive rebounds in the second half, but something that we need to take care of from the start.
You talked a lot about how your guards can do everything and can push the ball if they need to, but how does it go about with Darian White and Jazz Shelley? Jazz had a couple big games for you too, but just developing that and how they play off of each other and just in new roles, and how does that continue to develop here in the early season as well? Yeah,
I think they're really learning each other right now and their first several ball games together, but I think Darian can push pace and she can collapse defenses, and for her kind of just knowing when to, and I heard Jazz tell her, at one point, this weekend in the tournament, just our team is so much better, Darian, when you're aggressive-minded offensively. And I think sometimes Darian thinks pass first, and sometimes, she can be really dangerous getting herself into the paint and being aggressive with just kind of looking for her own shot. But I think, finding that balance of knowing when, she can help create some offense for Jazz and when she needs to be able to go create some offense for herself. And I think she's doing a really good job of transitioning pretty quickly to that.
All right, let's talk this week. You got Florida Atlantic, 7 o'clock on Wednesday, and then Georgia Tech, 2 o'clock on Saturday. What are you seeing out of Florida Atlantic and that matchup on Wednesday?
Yeah, well, they have just a really prolific scorer. A young lady that's a sophomore this year has already surpassed 500 points in her career, was the freshman of the year in Conference USA last year. Just a really dangerous scorer, that 3-level scorer, that, left-handed, outstanding athlete, aggressive-minded, can score at all 3 levels. They complement her with some really good pieces and veteran players that, are just tough matchup problems, kind of inside-outside type players. And so it's going to take a great effort, and it's another challenge that we welcome as it will help prepare us for what we're going to see and what we're going to need to be ready for when we get into Big Ten play. But we are really, really excited to be back at Pinnacle Bank Arena and have Husker Nation help us out.
And then have you guys started scouting much Georgia Tech? Do you know much about that matchup on Saturday?
I haven't taken a look at any Georgia Tech yet. Following their scores, I know, they've got really good scoring options, but I have not watched 1 second of film yet, and probably won't until Thursday.
How does that work? Do you guys just one opponent at a time and then close the chapter, move on to the next? How do you guys balance, especially when you're playing different nights of the week, preparing a team for each matchup?
Yeah, so each one of my assistant coaches will be assigned kind of as a primary scout for each game. So we definitely have an assistant coach that's already working on and preparing for Georgia Tech. But for me, I just take it one game at a time, and I'm working alongside Coach Keller right now to help prepare us for the Florida Atlantic game on Wednesday. But as soon as that's over on Wednesday night, I'll have some pretty deep conversations with Tanda Mays about Georgia Tech, and we'll start watching that Wednesday night after we finish that Florida Atlantic game and try to get ready for Thursday's practice in preparation for Saturday's game.
All right, what are the big goals for this team this week?
Yeah, 2-0 are the big goals this week, and just to keep getting better and become the best team that we're capable of. And I think, we've talked about trying to level up our defense, and obviously we would like to take that. We don't want to have to score over 88 points to win ball games, and TCU put up 88 on us, and so we know that our ability to hold opponents, lower than that, and to be smart and kind of level up our off the ball defense as well as rebounding is going to be key.
You said it. This team excited to be back in PBA.
We are so excited. Husker Nation, there's just no place like it, and it's kind of like a warm blanket wrapped around you when you're PBA with the Husker fans there cheering for you.
All right, we'll look forward to it again coming up. Florida Atlantic, 7 o'clock on Wednesday, Georgia Tech, 2 o'clock on Saturday, and you can get your tickets to go watch this team back home here in Lincoln, Huskers.com/tickets. Get Nebraska women's basketball head coach Amy Williams with us here on Sports Nightly. Seatbelt use saves lives and prevents injuries. Nearly 15,000 lives saved per year. Buckle up. This message from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. More from Sports Nightly coming up after this.
Woodhouse Lincoln is bringing you the premium lineup of Lincoln SUVs. Plus, right now, lease a 2023 Lincoln Nautilus for $649 per month for 36 months, 7,500 miles per year. Find us in-store off 144th and Giles Road or online anytime at woodhouselincoln.com. With approved credit, tax, title, license extra, security deposit waived, $3,499 down, plus first payment and $299 doc fee due at signing. Offer expires 11/30/2023. See dealer for details.
Hi, this is Husker National Champion and Super Bowl champ Tony Veland. Throughout my football career, chiropractic care helped my athletic performance on the field and kept me in the game. Today, regular chiropractic care keeps me healthy and active to do the things I love. Chiropractic is safe and effective for all ages. Make chiropractic your first choice to reduce pain, improve your mobility, and feel better naturally. It works for me, and it can work for you too. Learn more at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Stay active with chiropractic.
Hi, I'm a volleyball. It's an okay life. I go back and forth about it. But I really wish I was a Nebraska Lottery Powerball or Mega Millions Mega Ball. All they have to do is mix around in a big plastic bubble and roll down a ramp, and then people win millions. What a great life. As for me, I get thrown around all day and have to worry about getting spiked, which is about to happen right now. Oh, ow! Couldn't you just do a nice, gentle tip?
The Nebraska Lottery. Top prize odds vary by game.
Hey, Husker fans, it's Matt Davison with the 1890 Initiative. As we get ready to celebrate 1890's one-year anniversary, I'm proud to say the 1890 Initiative now represents 150 Husker student athletes in 9 sports. And with your help, we can keep 1890 going strong, helping student athletes get the most from their name, image, and likeness, and preparing them for life after college. Visit 1890nebraska.com to learn more about NIL and 1890 and contribute today.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks. Foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
When you're clocking out and happy hour's already started. But you're clocking out and happy hour's already started. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Pick up Bud Light at your local convenience store today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Woodhouse Nissan offers a convenient and streamlined way to purchase your next vehicle from home. Browse our full lineup online and have your test drive delivered to you. Right now, lease a 2023 Nissan Rogue S for $349 a month for 36 months and 10,000 miles per year. With approved credit, tax, title, and license extra, $2,500 down plus first payment and $299 doc fee due at signing. Discounted price based on a sale price of $30,069. VIN number PC910913. Offer expires November 30th, 2023. See dealer for details.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Dear roads, trails, and rivers, you ready for some SUV action? Toyota SUVs can roll their sleeves up for tight turns and twisty trails, dress up for a night out on the town, or head to the great outdoors. Take your family adventure game to a whole new level with the roomy Highlander. Make a serious splash with the rugged, revved-up RAV4. And tow all your toys in the spacious new Sequoia. Don't forget the Trail-Tamin 4Runner and the sleek Venza Hybrid. All Toyota SUVs feature a whole suite of creature comforts to keep you and yours cozy in the cabin. Check out this legendary lineup at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
Noddle Companies is proud to support Husker Athletics. As a leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Sunny's at Exarban, and row house townhomes on Leavenworth. Noddle Companies is adding Omaha's first hybrid timber building to the skyline. Soon to follow is Builders Green Park, surrounded by mouth-watering food, exciting retail, and a hub of thriving businesses. Noddle Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Go Huskers!
Shop Woodhouse Mazda during the season of inspiration happening now and explore our exceptional lineup. Take advantage of our current offers happening now, like 3.9% APR for 72 months and $2,000 off MSRP on all 2024 Mazda CX-90 Preferred Plus models. Plus, current Mazda CX-9 owners will receive an additional $1,500 off MSRP. With approved credit, tax, title, license extra when financed with Mazda Financial Services. $299 doc fee due at signing. Offer expires 11/30/2023. See dealer for details.
Everybody wants a classic Christmas. Well, there's nothing more classic than cash. So until January 3rd, 2024, enter non-winning Nebraska Lottery Holiday Classic scratch tickets online, and you could win $1,000, $5,000, $10,000, or $20,000. Hurry and jingle all the way to your nearest Nebraska Lottery retailer and have yourself a classic little Christmas with the whole family of Holiday Classic scratch tickets. Top prize odds vary by game.
There's no community like a Cenex community, and that's why every Cenex store is so proud to serve theirs by supporting local athletic teams, promoting the arts, and making sure each store is a place its neighbors can find what they need, catch up with their friends, and stay connected. It's also why we give back, helping to make the wonderful places we call home the best they can be. Your local Cenex doesn't just work in your town, it lives there. The store next door, powered locally at Cenex.
Welcome back inside the Acres Broadcast Center. Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer. Acres, solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody back with you. How about that little run of basketball? You were on the call for the men's game yesterday, 7-0 and looking good.
Yeah, they really are. It just, even during stretches when things aren't always going how they need to, they're finding ways to work through it, whether it be on the defensive end or, on Sunday they didn't play as good defensively, but they were scoring. And so there's just a lot of different weapons on this team. There's a lot of different lineups they can throw at people. And so, yeah, it's been fun. It's been fun to be able to be on some of these calls, and I think this team's going to be real fun to watch.
Making their free throws.
Oh,
Holy
my gosh.
cow.
Like over 90% back-to-back games.
Wow.
And it's not like they're going 8 for 9 or 9 for 10. They're getting to the line 20 times and shooting over 90% as a team. That's really huge because that was an issue. That's been an issue. And so, some of the issues that have haunted this team at times in the past couple of years since I've been here, they've certainly really addressed this season, and it's been an improvement, that's for sure.
Cool stuff. We've covered a lot tonight. Obviously, the end of the football season, the volleyball pairings, and them getting ready to start the tournament on Friday, men's, women's basketball. Haven't really talked soccer. Husker season came to an end Friday, made it to the Elite Eight. What a terrific run. 2-1 overtime at Stanford. Really acquitted themselves well. So kudos to John Walker and that soccer team. What a great year.
Great year. And, yeah, you wanted it to continue, and certainly you felt like this team could make a special run. Stanford's a team that's been there before. They've won national championships recently. They just it's a program that's they know what to do when they get there. And I think for this young soccer team, this will be really beneficial for them to have had this experience, because while they are losing some seniors, they got a lot of players back that, a lot of young freshmen, sophomore, juniors that will be back next year that will have had this experience that will be, I think, really pivotal for them to continue building. And, it just takes time to be a consistent team that continues to compete in the postseason, because it is different, and you have to know how to approach each and every match and each and every game, whatever the sport might be. And so to have this experience, I think, will be absolutely huge for some of these young players that are going to be a part of this program moving forward.
Just pains you to give up an own goal. That's just killer. And kudos to Eleanor Dale. I know the postseason honors are about to come rolling in for her. Maybe the best soccer season ever put on by a Husker soccer player.
Well, certainly scoring-wise, it is. I mean, she's in the record books, but it's, unbelievable what she continued to do. And even with people keying in on her, knowing that that's what has been done for this team. But, I mean, that's also a credit to players like Sarah Weber, who has been the goal scorer. And you can't key in on Sarah. You can't key in on one of them because the other one will make you pay for it. And so there was just a lot of talent that was around her this year I interviewed her, and she's the first to tell you, I'm not able to do what I do without my teammates and the job that they do around me. And so she's absolutely the first, but she's deserving of every and all and anything that comes her way. And I will be pretty disappointed if she's not Player of the Year.
Yeah, I mean, she's certainly earned it. And with her team doing what they did in postseason, it kind of backs up.
And a conference title in the regular season.
Absolutely.
You know, it's not just what she's done individually, but the team, that's so much a big part of it. And the team is absolutely, that's part of her resume too. And so to me, I don't know how you give it to anybody but her.
You talk about chalk. That sport goes chalk. 3 1s make the Final Four, and Stanford was a 2 seed. That's really rare to see that much top seeds make their way all the way to what they call it, the College Cup, I think.
Yeah, College Cup, yep.
All right, need to take a break. We'll come back and give you our weekend winners. That's next.
Let's face it, nothing makes you look older than you really are than thinning hair. But what if you could not only increase your hair count, but promote new hair growth without surgery, without drugs with potential side effects, and without a prescription from your doctor? Well, now you can, thanks to a breakthrough new supplement called Hair Grow, provided by New Nordic, the #1 supplier of dietary supplements in Europe. Hair Grow is now available in the U.S. Only Hair Grow contains Tocogaya, a powerful antioxidant that has received a U.S. patent. Multiple clinical studies show Hair Grow is safe and effective in promoting new hair growth. In one study, 95% of the patients using Hair Grow saw increased hair count. Don't lose more time and more hair. Try Hair Grow today to feel and look your best. Just go to newnordicusa.com or visit Walgreens or Amazon to purchase. Look younger and feel more confident with Hair Grow by New Nordic at newnordicusa.com.
Maybe your hometown celebrates long-standing Swiss traditions. Cow chip throwing. Or even classic car muscle. Everyone has a hometown, and every hometown has a festival. Cenex wants to hear about yours. That's why we're launching the Hometown Throwdown. Tell us about your fest, and it could win $100,000. Learn more at CenexHometownThrowdown.com. Cenex, powered locally.
Hi, this is Husker National Champion and Super Bowl champ Tony Veland. Throughout my football career, chiropractic care helped my athletic performance on the field and kept me in the game. Today, regular chiropractic care keeps me healthy and active to do the things I love. Chiropractic is safe and effective for all ages. Make chiropractic your first choice to reduce pain, improve your mobility, and feel better naturally. It works for me, and it can work for you too. Learn more at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Stay active with chiropractic.
Feel like you're always on the run? Me too. As an independent financial professional, I help all kinds of busy people. Young families planning for college, couples working toward retirement, people securing their legacy. Wherever you are in life, Emeritus can help you get more out of life with insurance, employee benefits, and financial services. You're moving fast. Let's help make sure you're on the path to a fulfilling life. Find your next step at emeritus.com. Insurance products issued by Emeritus Life Insurance Corp.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Hi, I'm a volleyball. It's an okay life. I go back and forth about it. But I really wish I was a Nebraska Lottery Powerball or Mega Millions Mega Ball. All they have to do is mix around in a big plastic bubble and roll down a ramp, and then people win millions. What a great life. As for me, I get thrown around all day and have to worry about getting spiked, which is about to happen right now. Oh, ow! Couldn't you just do a nice, gentle tip?
The Nebraska Lottery. Top prize odds vary by game.
Farming today is a combination of hard work, innovation, and partnerships to help keep us moving forward. Sapp Brothers Petroleum has provided us with fuel, propane, and lubricants on the farm for many years.
For over 52 years, Sapp Brothers has been a reliable partner to thousands of farmers across our great state. We work hard to make sure our customers have the most reliable supply, provided in the safest manner and at the most competitive price. Trust Sapp Brothers Petroleum to protect your equipment and keep your farm fueled. Sapp Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Huskers Athletics and to serve Nebraska farmers and Husker fans across America's heartland.
Woodhouse Auto Family, your trusted auto partner, 20 brands, 20 convenience sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. Just a couple minutes left tonight. One programming note, Athletic Director Trev Albert's monthly show tomorrow night, hour 1. Make that appointment listening, folks. We'll have lots to talk about with Trev tomorrow night on the show. All right, weekend winners. Jessica.
Do I get to go first? I'm going to go men's basketball. First 7-0 start in 30 years, and just the way that they've been able to do it and different players stepping up. I mean, until last night, they'd had a different leading scorer lead the way each win, and they're just so fun to watch. It's a fun basketball team to watch. And I've had several people comment to me about that. You know, there's teams that win that aren't really fun to watch, but this is a team that's really fun to watch. So I got to give it up to men's basketball and that 7-0 start. And a big one coming up.
Big stretch, 4 games, and we talked about it with Coach Hoiberg earlier in the hour. You got the 4. You got Creighton, Minnesota, Michigan State, K-State. We're going to learn a lot, I think, in the coming weeks.
Absolutely.
On that group. Mr. Hartman.
I was tuning in yesterday to the Eagles-Bills game, and Jack Stoll made a huge catch late. I think he only had 1 or 2 targets yesterday, but he had a catch either in OT or late in the 4th that set the Eagles up for a late touchdown. So that's my winner.
Kind of a forgotten guy. He blocks a lot for them. He didn't catch a lot of balls, but happy for him. He's had a nice little career since leaving here, and he was kind of the first end of this nice little tight end run for Nebraska because it got followed up with Austin Allen and Travis Vokalek, and I think Fedoni's on his way to doing that as well.
Absolutely, yep.
So good stuff. Well done, Cole.
Yeah, good
Nicely
job.
done. All right, my weekend winner. I'm a big fan of Kirk Herbstreit and Chris Fowler. Did you see the reaction? They were watching the end of the Alabama-Auburn game, and they were going nuts, and they had like a camera on them. So they're not calling the game. They're watching it, and they're just going. They're like a couple of kids and fans, and that's what they are. They're real fans of college football, and to see them, the joy, and they're high-fiving each other and bumping each other in their booth because they're getting ready to call Florida State. That was a cool thing. What a finish. The Auburn fans have to be sick today.
Oh, I always watch that. It was like, you know, there's the tears, there's the shock.
Oh.
I mean, every meme that you can imagine that is going to come of that. But yeah, they thought they were cruising. They were on their way to another win, and Alabama said nope. But I think everybody in college football wanted that because they wanted to see the Bama-Georgia matchup.
Right.
So that's ideally, that's kind of, I think, why everybody was so excited the way that one ended, too.
That's on our pick sheet this week.
Okay.
Conference championship week. Got some big matches to pick. We have a new winner this week. I will not reveal that until we pick Thursday. We have to pick Thursday because we have volleyball Friday.
Nice. All right.
So, Thursday night, the picks. All right, that'll wrap up tonight's show. And again, tomorrow, Trev, hour 1. If those of you wondering about John Cooks, he will have a show this week. It will be back on his normal night of Thursday at 6 o'clock. So John Cook's radio show back to Thursday this week before they get it underway. Have yourself a great night.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
It's time to light up the season during the Make the Holidays Bright sales event. Get our best offers and choose from a huge selection of Ford F-150 trucks with the capability, convenience, and technology to help bring us together. Wow. Discover how Ford F-150 can make the holidays bright. Now, get a new 2023 Ford F-150 with 2.9% financing for 72 months. Only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
It's time for some Nebraska farm facts. Want to know a fast way to rev up our Nebraska economy while helping the planet? It's right in your tank. When you fill up with clean soy-based biodiesel, you're increasing Nebraska biodiesel production while reducing greenhouse gases by up to 74%. So look for biodiesel where you fill up. It benefits our air, our economy, and our farmers. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska exists to be there with you. They are rooting for the schools and teachers who make our communities great. That's why Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska is proud to sponsor Touchdowns for Teachers and ask Husker fans to nominate outstanding educators who help Nebraska students reach their potential. If there's a teacher you want to recognize for the impact they've made in your community, find a nomination form at huskers.com/touchdowns-for-teachers.
Farmers, ensure your engines have the power and performance to get the job done. Central Valley Ag can help with Ruby Fieldmaster Diesel. With 4.5% more power and up to 5% better fuel economy, you can be sure your equipment is running on the best fuel. Register to win 500 gallons of Ruby Diesel when you contract 500 gallons or more. Enter to win at cvacoop.com. Our planet is hungry. Together, we feed it. There's room at the table. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker.